the good business you would do would be with people who aren't scarcity minded. They're focused on what they're getting it from for and how much money they're gonna make. They're not tripping about what you're gonna make.
Yesterday you talked about wholesaling, and then you gave us an example of wholesaling through MLS.
Mm-hmm.
And yesterday you talked about how the wholesaler would sell it to the actual buyer, but I wanted to know, do you still give them that sale of, you put this much in, the ARV is this, so this is your return, and that's basically you would give them the same information through the MLS, right? Of the potential of that sale.
Um, so I think I'm trying. So let me tell you what I think I heard, Anthony. So you're saying that I'm wholesaling property from the MLS. In that example, I said I was gonna go to Johnny, sell it to him for 120,000. It's listed on the MLS for 125, right? But I got it locked up from Key for 100.
Yeah.
So, what you're asking is, when I take this deal to Johnny, am I taking it to Johnny along with this is the ARV, these are some comps, the projected rehab is XYZ, you should make XYZ money?
Yeah, because I would have thought like what if they know, well, I don't know how they would get this information, but what if they know that you bought it for 100 and they're like, oh, he's trying to upsell me? You would obviously have to tell them the potential of that purchase, right?
Got you. So the first thing is, in traditional wholesaling, I didn't buy that deal yesterday. What I did was, that's why I said A to B, B to C, right? So A to B, there was a purchase agreement between me and Key. Okay, that was A to B. And then I used an assignment contract. Okay, it's another document that I assigned the rights, the equitable rights to my purchase agreement to Johnny when he agreed to buy it. So it's A to B and B to C. I never bought it. Okay, so what I did was, when I got it under contract, I assigned my rights to purchase contract to Johnny. So now Johnny is the buyer. It's just that when the money is sent, well, Keith said he needed 100. Johnny sent in 120. So when they settle out that settlement statement, oh, BA on there for 20. You know what I mean? Because he needed 100 and he giving me 120. So I'm gonna take this 20 and get out your way so everybody else get what they want. Right. So that's the essence of it. There are situations where, we've had like a crazy wholesale fee that we didn't want the buyer to see it. And so in those cases, you could do what's called a double close, where we could bring in a transactional funder for that day, have them send money to escrow. We technically bought it, and then simultaneously that title company closed with the other party, to where they would only see us selling it to them for whatever number, as opposed to seeing what we caught in the middle of it.
Yeah.
Right. So there is a way around that if it ever came down to it, that you had to expose how much money you were making. The other thing is, that's going to be an exception to the rule. More often than not, you're going to do business with people. The good business you would do will be with people who aren't scarcity minded. They're focused on what they're getting it from for and how much money they're going to make. They're not tripping about what you're going to make. Okay. And so that's why it's all relationship based. You want to get to the point where you get them petty people out your life, where they're not counting your pocket and they're counting the fact that you just bought them a deal that they didn't have to work hard to find, and they gonna go make $50,000. You know what I mean? That's what they need to be focused on. But yeah, it's various different nuance to paperwork and strategy that you can obscure what your wholesale fee is. But by all means, when you promoting the deal, like when I'm going to get Johnny interested about it, I'm taking it to him and I'm trying to eliminate as much guesswork as possible. So I'm gonna show him good comps. I'm gonna tell him what the ARV is. I'm gonna tell him what the projected rehab is, because the less I gotta make Johnny start thinking and poking holes into the deal, then the more likelihood is I could get them to ink that contract and start getting paid sooner than later. So a lot of wholesalers are lazy and or don't know how to assess properties. And so they can't come with all that information. So what happens is now this other person is forced to do all this forensic due diligence, and then the deal just starts to unravel like an ugly sweater. You know what I mean? So it's just important that the more qualified and prepared you are, you can lessen the time for you to get paid, and you can bring both parties together a lot faster.
Okay. Okay, for sure. I just want to clarify one thing that you said within that. I understand, you know, you're giving up the rights within that contract to B2C, but I think you just answered it. I just want to clarify it. But you would still tell them all that information, right? The potential from going from B to C to get that, to get them to pay you, or to get them to pay 120, and then you get that 20K. You would still tell them the information, the potential information, right?
No, no, the assignment contract, you don't, the way so we got an assignment contract we use inside our program. It don't disclose how much they won't know based on the assignment contract, how much I make.
Yeah, they won't know that, but basically to get them to give up that 120, you would have to tell them the comps and the ARV and the stuff like that.
Yeah, you don't have to, but you selling it,
Yeah,
right?
yeah,
Back to the
that's what I
conversation
mean.
about being a
Yeah,
salesperson.
yeah,
I
yeah,
want to be a prepared salesperson. I
yeah,
rather give them as much information so that they don't have to go and look for it. And then if they believe that I did my job, then that's less work they got to do, and all they got to do is figure out, you know, where to send the money.